Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad is the present head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, the most dynamic international community within Islam. The community was established by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad in Qadian, a small and remote village in India. He claimed to be the expected reformer of the latter days, the one awaited by all major world religions. Founded in 1889, the community has continued to spread throughout the world, flourishing under caliphate, the system of spiritual leadership established after the demise of the holy founder. The current successor of this movement, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, continues the work of the holy founder to revive the spiritual and moral state of mankind. The movement embodies the benevolent message of Islam in its pristine purity, a movement that preaches peace, universal brotherhood, and submission to the will of God. Ahmadi Muslims have earned the distinction and reputation of being a law-abiding and peaceful community. Within a century, the movement has reached all the corners of the earth and has been recognized and praised by the global community. Wherever the movement has been established, it endeavors to exert a constructive influence of Islam through social projects, educational institutes, health services, Islamic publications, and the construction of mosques. These endeavors continue, despite the bitter persecution that the community suffers in some countries.
We need all the goodness we can find in today's world, and I applaud you for your contribution in Britain and worldwide to community cohesion and the enjoyment of diversity that is such a precious asset.
Your faith is dedicated to serving the society that you live in, and from what I've seen, heard, and experienced from mainstream charities, schools, and churches, your faith and community have contributed in significant ways. I have personally experienced and heard that you have raised tens of thousands of pounds on sponsored walks for children, older people, and people with disabilities. You have dedicated yourselves to charitable social projects, and most significantly of all, you have not distinguished between faiths, ethnicities, or community.
Ahmadiyya Association are, in my view, an outward-looking, positive, and a supportive organization that embodies the spirit of participation and contribution to our community, to our nation. From its charity work with the Red Cross, to organizing sporting matches, to its tremendous efforts each year as a leading part of the Clean Up Australia Day, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association is a model of giving back, paying back to the community.
Your participation and support in clean-up activities indicate that you share this belief and that you are the true owners of clean-up. And that makes you great Australians.
The Ahmadiyya Muslim community pride themselves on promoting peace and harmony in the wider community, opening up the mosque to community members, religious leaders and other groups to engage in a meaningful discussion. It's a fantastic way that we can better promote tolerance, understanding and diversity.
I'm proud to say I've had a long involvement with the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association, who are based in Marsden Park, just outside of my electorate, but many of their community are indeed my constituents. I think it sums it up very well with the Rouse Hill Times headline from March 11, 2014, which states, Ahmadiyya Muslim Association prove their faith in community. And it goes on to say, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association's regular community works are as much a part of their faith as their commitment to improving life around them. They pride themselves in doing good in the community, and their efforts in the recent Clean Up Australia Day underlies this facet of their faith.
The Ahmadiyya community have a clear focus on helping their fellow man. When floodwaters tore a path through Logan City in January this year, more than 50 members of the Ahmadiyya community donned the rubber gloves and spent many days assisting in the clean-up effort.
The community's many social projects aimed at helping those in need bears testimony to humanitarian concerns in respect of all human beings, regardless of race, colour or creed.
I would like to pay an additional tribute to the work being done by Ahmadis in raising standards in Africa and particularly in education.
Together, we should fight common enemies such as illiteracy, disease, hunger, and poverty. The Ahmadiyya mission has put structures in place towards the fight against these common enemies in order to enhance the dignity of man.
What has so impressed me as I have come to understand more about the Ahmadiyya faith is your remarkable commitment to interfaith dialogue, your commitment to the principle of non-compulsion in religion, and your commitment to peace and tolerance.
The Ahmadiyya community has always demonstrated the spirit of tolerance, goodwill, and true brotherhood. It advocates peace, love, and understanding among followers of different faiths. It firmly believes in and acts upon Quranic teachings. It strongly rejects violence and terrorism in any form and for any reason. The movement offers a clear presentation of Islamic wisdom, philosophy, morals, and spirituality, as derived from the Holy Quran and the practice of the Holy Prophet of Islam, Muhammad.
The Ahmadiyya Muslim community holds peace, reconciliation, harmony, love, and mutual respect as their key values, and importantly promotes open interfaith dialogue to remove misunderstanding and to achieve interreligious harmony. They've worked tirelessly to convey the peaceful message of Islam and to discredit supposed Islamic justifications for terrorism or extremism.
His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, the present head of the community, continues in his effort to unite people from all faiths and cultures. He has travelled extensively to spread the message of peace and to remind everyone to respect the rights of other human beings. During these tours, His Holiness has met world leaders from the Far East to Europe, from North America to Africa, discussing the economic, social, and political problems facing the world today and how to create peace and justice in the world. He has also met religious and community leaders in order to share common values and core ideals universal to all religions and cultures, with a view to improving the moral state of mankind and creating an atmosphere of love and affection. He has personally initiated social projects and schemes to alleviate poverty and human suffering. His concern is not just about the well-being and moral state of the members of the Ahmadiyya community, but of the great human suffering of mankind at large.
You understand at a profound level that promoting religious freedom is an essential building block for peace and stability here and throughout the world. In this we are allied with His Holiness, a courageous champion of religious freedom.
The key themes espoused by His Holiness in many of his addresses, those of religious tolerance, loyalty to country, rejection of extremism, rebellion, disorder, commitment to community, and the pursuance of peace, they resonate with the key values of the Australian military and all true Australians. I honour the sacrifices and risks you take to bring these messages to the world.
I would thank you also that you have stressed the importance of showing that Islam is the religion of peace, not the religion of hate, as it was stated on the wall in the Jalsa, love for all, hatred for none. I think that is the message that the world really needs.
And Your Holiness, can I say to you, can I assure you that here in Australia you are among friends. You are among friends in this nation. And we know that the Ahmadiyyan Muslim community are a righteous people and a good people and a godly people, loyal Australians and hard-working Australians. And in their heart and in their soul, they have a love of good because they have a love of God. And Your Holiness, your illustrious reputation has preceded you here to Australia. Your stand around the world for interreligious harmony and tolerance and peace. And for these things, for this great task that you've undertaken, we praise you and we honour you and we exalt you here tonight, all these members of Parliament and all the other dignitaries as well.
The huge respect we all have, for your work day by day in making a reality of peace and brotherhood across the communities in this country and across the world.
Your Holiness, we need more leaders like you. We need more leaders of communities like this community who are prepared to stand up and speak the word of faith and, more importantly, speak the words of peace. Because it is only through voices like yours that we will have stability once more across the globe. That when people are confident that their religious leaders, their political leaders are prepared to stand up and speak out. Speak out when others seek to terrorise the world, that you are that voice of peace, that you are that voice of hope and that voice of strength, that strength of faith and that voice of courage.
In your work, in your communities and internationally, you reflect the best of Canadian values.
Let us make a resolution. Let us make this resolution to promote the message of peace and brotherhood, which is your message to mankind, that people of different religions should not quarrel and fight with each other, but should accept and tolerate and live together in that spirit of brotherhood and peace, which is the essence of your religion.
I pray that may Allah the Almighty enable the people of the world to rise above their personal interests and desire in an effort to save the world from the coming destruction. It is the developed nations of the West that hold the greatest amount of power in today's world, and so it is your duty above others to pay urgent attention to these matters of crucial importance. Islam has drawn our attention to various means for peace. It requires absolute justice. It requires truthful testimony to always be given. It requires that our glances are not cast enviously in the direction of the wealth of others. And it requires that the developed nations put aside their own vested interests and instead help and serve the less developed and poorer nations with a truly selfless attitude and spirit. If all of these factors are observed, then true peace will be established. Here I would like to point out that this golden principle given by the Quran is not only for Muslims, but in fact it is a universal truth that in order to establish peace, justice must prevail. In terms of world politics and defeating terrorism, it is necessary to accept that establishing peace is our paramount objective. It is my belief that unless the world comes to recognize its Creator and accepts Him as the sustainer of mankind, true justice cannot prevail, and not only will true justice not prevail, but we will also experience a lethal nuclear war whose catastrophic consequences will be faced by our future generations. I pray that the world comes to understand this reality. I pray that we all play our respective roles in furthering the cause of humanity. And I pray that true peace based upon justice is established in all parts of the world.
I would like to draw to the presence of honourable members the presence in the gallery of His Holiness Mirza Masroor Ahmad, head of the worldwide Ahmadiyya Muslim community.
pleasure to welcome His Holiness to Ottawa. The last time we met was a number of years ago, and I didn't yet occupy this office, but we had wonderful conversations, as we will this time, about the Ahmadi community and the challenges they face and the opportunities to work together on promoting love for all and hatred for none.
Irrespective of differences of background, I believe that on the basis of humanity, we are all joined together and should therefore be united. All people and all organizations must collectively endeavor to uphold human values and strive to make the world in which we live a better and far more harmonious place.